Another one of these late night videos again. Why am I doing these so late? I don't know, but I always have something I want to say at the end of my day. There's something about these videotaping. Have you noticed these videos of these cops lately? They have become situations where the person that's being arrested is resisting arrest, and they're provoking the cop to do something violent, provocation of the cop to do something violent. And I could visualize a situation that could come up or has maybe already happened where in one of these videotapes, doesn't even have to be a videotape, but it could be a videotape, where they set up the cops. They act like drug dealers or whatever, and they want to put a hit out on the cop. They don't like this cop because he's enforcing the law and they're criminals, right? So what they do to get back at the cop is they have one guy go out there and do something, like yell out real loud or carry a gun and wave a gun around, just act crazy, whatever. Do anything to get somebody to call the cops. And then the cops come and the guy acts real violent, and the cops start to try to resist, try to get him to under control. And then they just keep provoking him more and more. And while they're doing this, they have other criminals that are off camera with their guns pointed at the cops from all different directions, like it's an ambush. And they have all these other criminals pointing guns at the cops. That's off camera while someone is doing this. Imagine this. Imagine a scenario. You're a cop and you pull somebody over, or you're in a situation where you need to enforce the law. You're approaching this criminal, and you're in a bad neighborhood where there's criminals with guns all over the place. And so you're sitting there. Every time your focus is taken, your attention is drawn to something else, you know that you could slip and not notice some other guy over in the corner of your eye that has a gun. So they're extremely paranoid out there. That's why they're under so much stress, and that's why they behave the way they are. And that's why I totally am almost 100% on the side of the cops in every single one of these cases, because that you do not know. You're not in a position to judge a cop at all, ever. Only the court should judge cops, and only if the cops do something that is obviously illegal should you ever jump in there and say a cop did anything wrong. When they get fired, that's wrong. Most of those cases, they're wrong, because the cops are in a life or death situation, and they want to preserve their life. They have wives and children at home waiting for them, and so they have to preserve their own life. And they're law enforcement people. They're not criminals. So that's what I'm saying. Is you're pulling over somebody, you're super paranoid. So what they can do is they can have all kinds of stuff going on, all kinds of distractions, people making noises, people shooting off blank guns, people making all kinds of racket, whatever, to distract the cops and make them more nervous, surround them with a bunch of people, but they're not on video. And then they just videotape the cops while the cop is just totally freaking out, and these guys are not cooperating, and the cop has to beat them or do something to get them to shut up and sit down. So they have to slam them down, face down, and hold them, and just use all kinds of force on these criminals to get them to stop moving, so that there's no more distraction, so they can call for backup, or they have their hands free. Because when your hands are occupied trying to hold somebody down, you're losing control. That's what happened with the thing. So this isn't, I think what they need to do is they need to make legislation against this, that it is not legal to videotape an arrest. It's not, in other words, it's not, don't want to infringe on people's right of First Amendment, but if somebody is videotaping another person that's on the arrest, they should be considered as a suspect in the case, and the cops should be able to question them, and basically question them and ask them why they're videotaping, and if they don't give any good reason why, it's a very complicated thing. I'm just thinking out loud. But what I'm saying is, we have a right to freedom of speech, but we don't have a right to make cops to interfere with an arrest of a cop. So by you standing there just watching it, you're interfering.